Hello and welcome to Market Psychology 101, where we look for value in the markets when there's fear and are cautious when there's greed. In today's video, I'm going to be taking a rundown through the Bitcoin mining stocks and taking a look at the action for those miners. And let's start off with the fear and greed index. And remember, these are mining stocks, even though I visualize these as altcoins because they move like altcoins. They go many multiples during alt season. We still have to see what the stock market fear and greed index has shown us, in that we have gone back up from fear not too long ago now into greed. Now that Trump has officially won, the markets have started to pump today, stocks and crypto. So just be careful. Again, here in market psychology, we want to be careful of too much greed, be careful of the euphoria and when those times hit, because you want to be able to think clearly, have a plan, and enact that plan, and use emotion as an indicator. On pie vesting, we are going up there again. We'll just also take a look at the election seasonality map, and regardless of who wins, something important to note, this is the November line. Regardless of who wins, on average, the markets pump quarter four and quarter one. And the most bullish time of the year for stock markets is Q4 to Q1. I believe it's November through April or October through March. It's one of those. But that is the most bullish time of the year, and on average when stocks go up the most. As far as crypto fear and greed, because even though these are mining stocks, again, they move like altcoins do, crypto still hanging high up in greed. So it is making new all-time highs, made new all-time highs yesterday during the presidential race, got up to 75K. We'll take a look at that in a moment. So some of that money could rotate over. It's still not alt season yet, but that does not mean that some of these mining stocks and altcoins still can't pump. And as far as alt season, we're taking a look at this. That's Bitcoin dominance cycle. Right now, about 60% of all money in crypto is in Bitcoin. Last two cycles, when that money rotates out of Bitcoin near the end of the cycle, that it has rotated into altcoins, into miners. And when it goes down, that's when we've seen big gains. And as far as the alt season index, we are making higher lows. And if you look at this right now, this alt season index is telling us, if you just draw a line from the higher lows, this might be a good area to dollar cost average in some, just in case alts or alt season, or overall the alts, the amount of money in alts is going to start moving up again. So even though some of these have started to pump today, we'll take a look at the indicators, and some of them might still be in a good price range. Again, Bitcoin, it jumped up to 75K yesterday during the election. You can see right there, that is a new all-time high for Bitcoin. And as I was talking about dominance before, you can see, well, we have to zoom out further here. You can see that dominance is still going up. Dominance has yet to peak. And again, just comparing to the last two cycles, dominance, after it peaked, it still made a floor. And here, that was September 2020. And by the time it made a floor, and that was still 6 months to a year from the top. It depends if you're looking 6 months-ish from alt season or a year from the true top in Bitcoin. And even here in 2016, dominance, it was a different time back then. Altcoins weren't as big of a thing, but it made a floor, then a peak, and then we just fell off in Bitcoin dominance. And that's when it's time. So I'm looking more for a chart like this. But the important factor to know is that dominance, let's take off the moving average here so it looks cleaner. Dominance hasn't peaked yet. Okay. We still need to wait for dominance to peak. This is my base case. And we're also still waiting for ETH Bitcoin to bottom. Let's just type this in, see what we got. So ETH Bitcoin has not bottomed. Dominance hasn't peaked. These two dates last cycle did coincide when dominance first peaked and when ETH Bitcoin finally bottomed. So just look for some convergence of those two charts, and when this starts to reverse to the upside, whenever that might be, and when dominance starts to durably move down. And I'm looking for dominance to get down below the 20 moving average, if I put this back on, and again, apologize for the noise. If it gets down below the weekly, here we go. It's love the 20-week moving average. Once it's getting underneath that, then your ears need to perk up because then it's go time. So that's what's going on in the Bitcoin world, and let's take a look at how that is affecting stocks. So we'll just keep on the buy signals as well as the moving averages. And you can see here right now on the weekly for Marathon, this is showing a sell signal. However, take a look at where the price is right now. So this guy, we are up in the higher ends of this wick, and when we zoom in on the daily, you see what I'm talking about. So when I saw during the election last night that Bitcoin was ripping the 75K, I was looking at many of the altcoins out there, especially the Ethereum-based ones, and I saw many with this type of wick, and I thought, okay, what's going to happen to mining stocks tomorrow? Almost the same exact thing. And we can just go down this list here. You can see other altcoins still moving up, similar percentages. So do be careful. Some of you, whether you are happy with the presidential election or you've just been waiting for crypto to pump, be careful of the euphoric times. Again, we want to buy in when there's fear in the market, when it's boring times, when the signals tell us it is a good time to buy. So are we still within a buying range? Yes. Just know that because we are at the upper end of this weekly candle and wick, that in the near to medium term, so in the next following weeks or month or two, it is possible that you see some losses. But again, we're waiting for alt season. And what I've been talking about last time, you remember that September 2020 area, that was about right here. Okay, that's when dominance peaked. That's when ETH Bitcoin bottomed last cycle. Look where Marathon was. It was under $2, and it got as high as almost $60 in alt season, April 21. Now, at the end of the year, when Bitcoin peaked, it got up to around $80. So, set your price targets now, or whether it's a price target or a time frame. Maybe you're just waiting for dominance to tank, and whatever would be what or come what may, you'll sell your holdings at that time. But set price targets, or at least have a plan right now for when this happens. So if we are in September of 2020, we might be 6 months away. We might be a year away. Who knows? But just be careful of that. So overall, you take a look at this again. We are at the upper end of this candle. And if we get a turnaround buy signal, just do exercise caution because it looks like there's some FOMO going on right now. Let's get into the next mining stock. It is nice to see I looked at my portfolio this morning. I was like, whoa, that a nice jump. So Riot, you can see here it ran into the 382 fib, and the candles have been closing under the 50-week moving average. Here's the 100-week. Let's take a look on the daily. So Riot's been very bullish for 2 months. Look at that. So when it got rejected on the daily, came down, bounced off these two moving averages, the light blue, the 100, the orange, the 50. Look, this is why I love moving averages and fibs. Okay, you see how much price action reacts to those factors. So shot right up, and we are right at the 382. Okay, so when we zoom out, when we take a look at the weekly, okay, here's how I think about it. In the last year, is Riot closer to the lows or the highs? Okay, that's one factor. Two, is it at more of a discount or not? I say it still is, even though it's extended, even though it's possible it could see a little bit more of a healthy pullback. It kind of got that on the daily. It had its healthy pullback halfway down through the fib range. Now it's back up. So here's the thing. You might not be buying as much at a premium or a discount as you hoped. So whatever you do buy, you have to do your research and believe in it. And if you're buying it up here and you love it right where it is and it comes down again, you need to love it even more because it's at more of a discount. So some of these, well, all these pretty much mining stocks are ripping hard today. And we'll see if there's still any deals out there. CleanSpark, maybe we'll keep a look at the daily just for the sakes of today's video. CleanSpark, you can see same thing. He's got to challenge these moving averages in fib. But if the bullishness continues, then we'd be looking at 1250 as a base. Right now it's still under that a little bit. I want to start running through these a little bit. TerraWolf. TerraWolf's been doing great. I love, I love my TerraWolf portfolio. So it came down to the 200 as well as the 382 down here at the daily, and it was battling this zero point 0.5 fib, and now it's coming up to the 618. So don't be surprised to see some profit taking here at around $8. And yeah, right now it's still $7, but at around $8, do not be surprised to see some level of profit taking, maybe even a tiny bit of correction. But yeah, look at all these candles today just based off the election and the results. Bit Digital, let's see, that's the next one. Another good wick for Bit Digital. It's challenged the 0.5 twice before, so if it gets above 417, then you're taking a look at the high $6 area. So some of these Bitcoin miners a little extended. Hey guys, one way, there's a couple ways to look at it. One, are you getting as deep a value? No. So it's important to just spend that time once every week looking at whatever stocks, cryptos that you like, that you research, that you want to buy. But two, this chart is also showing some good strength. So, just be mindful of that when charts are showing good strength, it means more people believe in them. Let's take a look at, I don't think I took a look at Cypher. Cypher, look at that one. Showing a lot of strength. It's still moving up in this channel, and it's getting towards that richer area. So would I be buying Cypher here? No. I love Cypher. The time to buy was down here when it's discounted. But we'll see what it does at the 786 at 692, and then the upper end of that channel, if it can break out above $9, this thing can start going. And let's move over to Bitfarms. I'm going to keep mindfully trying to be faster in my videos, by the way, which I know you guys appreciate. So Bitfarms still at the lower end. At the daily, you see that nice candle recovery. Okay, it still needs to get above those moving averages. But Bitfarms, so far, weekly sell signal, but again, this can turn around. Bitfarms so far looks to be the mining stock that's most at a discount. But don't buy it just because it's at a discount. Buy it because you researched it and you truly love it. Not because, well, this one hasn't ran yet. It hasn't ran yet for a reason. So keep that in mind. Iris Energy Limited. This one, been following the trend line, and we've been talking about that. Every time it hits that trend line, tends to do good. But we have the 786 next at 1375. So watch for profit taking there. But overall, still within range of the trend line. So not the worst. And, if we're looking at former all-time highs and getting above that, the $27 mark is going to become key in the near future, I believe. Core Scientific still moving up pretty good from its recent all-time high. You can see here we're at the weekly. Let's zoom in on the daily. Another nice candle. So on the daily. So if this starts moving up, and by the way, this fib I have drawn, I have a plus minus 9% range up and down just to try to catch fake outs. So after it makes a top and you adjust your fib, if it only hits up here and then comes back down, sometimes that's good at catching fake outs. So I like adding a plus and minus 0.09 to the fib. And if you guys want to see how I do that, you just go here, 1.09 and negative 0.09. And you do have to mess with, make sure your chart's on log when you do it. I believe that's the only way to put it in. BTDR, Bitdeer, another good wick right there. And you can see the 786 there at around 1040. So higher lows. All these outside of, what was that, Bitfarms really starting to move. And Hive, same thing. Look at all these big fat green candles today. So guys, take a step back, take a deep breath. I know it's hard not to buy in if you haven't dollar cost averaged in or bought in yet. You're worried about missing it. You have to have a plan that you stick to where you don't buy just based off emotions. So if your emotions are high today, if you're feeling euphoric, again, this goes to my point as a market psychologist. We want to buy when there's fear, when there's opportunity. And if you're missing those times and you're only checking the markets when there's good news or news you like, and when things are pumping, you're not going to be getting the best discounts. So you have to customize yourself to still look at these charts even when things aren't going well, even when there's bad news and fear in the market. So just keep that in mind, and do know if you are dollar cost averaging and buying in any of these miners, again, you might not see overall great profits in the near term because they can have pullbacks and that will suck to see. But overall, there's still a lot of room to run for a lot of these. So just have that in the back of your head. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments below. Charts reacting very positively to the election and the results. So we'll see. Again, I'll keep watching Bitcoin dominance and, seeing, are we peaking soon with Bitcoin dominance? I still have 62% as a target, high 61%. We'll see if that happens. But just keep those things in the back of your mind as we move forward. So subscribe if you want to stay up to date on those details. I also do weekly videos on the crypto cycle. And if you're new to my videos, I'm still looking at 100 to 150K as the next top range. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Take care.